So this walkthrough is about my app called MyBirthdayBuddy, and essentially what I'm going to be doing is demonstrate the code, state how it works, demo the app, and explain the purpose of this app. I do want to start off by apologizing if the video is too long because I'm just winging it here and I do want to make the video crisp and clear. So let's take a look at the code, shall we? So right now we're at the design view of the main menu of the app, and at the top you could see the welcome text view followed by the image view. Finally figured how to change the image from the Android icon to the birthday cake icon. So finally figured how to put an image that I desire to or the program desires to. Then followed by the three buttons: survey people, birthday buddy in your class, and the quit. So these two buttons don't do anything. I just want to put this button out there because I do want to make the main menu kind of fit the theme of the app, right? So only the first button does something, and I will explain later what it does. So this is basically the look. And if you go in the the text view, we can see specific properties of the UI elements. So the button over here, whoops, I need to go scroll up. So the text view, its properties like what kind of text is going in, what like what sizes, what's the text font, and so on and so forth. And you can see that they're embedded in a linear layouts. And the image view, it has an extra property telling it to access what kind of image to be displayed. And then button number one, button number two, oh sorry, so button number one, button number two, and button number 3 are all embedded in linear layouts. And the purpose of the linear layouts has been helping out so much because they help keep my app neat and tidy. So I give my linear layout specific properties like the layout and the layout width and the height should be the wrap content, and that allows me to position my UI elements properly with, and especially things like the margin and so forth, like the gravity, right? So again, so with the linear layouts, it gives me an organization, and it helps me align the app and gives it a look good, neat and tidy look, and a professional, sophisticated look. So now we'll be going on to the main menu Java file. Real quick with the import statements, basically the import statements help basically bring those things that the app would need in order to run properly. And next, the public class is initiated with the name called main menu, and it has an extra property implements view.onClick. It has an extra property called implements view.onClick listener. So this allows not only the onCreate method to run but also the onClick method. With the onClick method, there are two things that are going on. First, it sets up the XML file right over here, and it displays it to the user. Secondly, the button survey people is set to its corresponding ID, its respective ID, and next it tells it to connect to the survey people activity when it is to be clicked. So the survey people activity I will explain to you later. And next, the onClick method basically tells the button what to do, which is start the activity when clicked. So now we'll be going on to the activity game. Sorry, no, not the activity game, the activity survey people XML file. So right now in the text view, let's head over to the design view. So this is the design, so this is how it looks like in a phone. And the first text, the text over here gives the user an introduction. So the summary would be like, hey user, click a button that corresponds to your birth weekday. So for example, if you were born on Monday, click button number 1, and we'll tell you how many people do you need to survey on average randomly, until you find a person that has the same birth weekday as you. Let's head over to the Java file and let me scroll up. So again, with the import statements, I explained it early on, and I also inserted this property implements v.onClickListener so that onCreate method can run and the onClick method can run. Next, under my public class survey people, I right away initiated my important variables. I did them here, not under the methods, because I want these variables to be global so that any method defined underneath them can use them and access them anytime, and there'll be no issues. I did the same thing with the buttons. So created an object and I put it with the buttons, and so that again with the idea of making it global so that any method I declare below can access and use them. So right now we're entering the method, the onCreate method, and here I'm storing the values, right? So what the name of the variable is very useful because it tells the programmer what variable it is to be stored in them. So user birthday 1 will have 1, user birthday 2 will have 2 stored in them, and so on and so forth. Since there are 7 days in a week, I stop till user birthday 7 equals 7. And then next we have 3 chunks of code over here, and it's all relating to the button choice thing. So first it sets the button object choice to the ID, to the ID of the buttons that I put in the XML file. The second chunk of code tells it to display what kind of variables that I've put over here, and then lastly the third chunk of code tells it to display what kind of oh no like sorry. So the second chunk of code basically tells to display the variable that the programmer that I put in the right over here, and it displays it to the user. So when the user clicks the survey people activity, the variables be displayed to the user via the buttons. Next, the third chunk of code tells it to kind of like I guess connect to the on click method. So like do whatever with the in the bracket like air quotes this, right? Next, we'll be entering the onClick method and we'll see what it does. Firstly, I declared a variable called int random birthday equals to a random number generator. So think of this variable like being metaphorical to as if you're asking a person what their birth weekday is, and that is just a random number being between numbers 1 to 7. So yeah, this variable accesses the random number generator and just stores a random number between 1 to 7. So now we got that out of the way, I declared even more important variables right over here, such as the number of people, the sum total of people, number of trials, and the average number of people. So this 3 accounts for the average, and the int number of people will have for now will have a value of 0, but later will have a value. I'll explain that later. So I do want to point out that having averages and having a number of trials is really important because serving people shouldn't be done on a one-time basis. Because what if you're there in a mall and you had 0 people to ask because literally the first person that you asked has the same birth weekday as you. So the number of trials can be thought of as, oh, one trial and you did it in school, and another time you did it in the mall, and another time you did it at your workplace, etc. and etc. I also wanted to store the variable. I also want to store the value 10 here right away in this variable so that as a programmer, if I do want to change the number of trials, I can easily do it here instead of like, let's say if I instead of going to each for loop statement and then changing it there. I'll explain what the for loop and the while statement is, but yeah, just keep in mind. Um, we're almost done with the walkthrough, so let's go through the switch statement. So the switch statement allows the programmer to tell each button what to do if the user clicked on it. So emphasis on the if. So if the user clicked on it. We'll be going through button number 1 only because all the buttons do literally the same thing. It's only the matter of which button the user clicks. And I also want to save time considering the fact that I talk way too much. So in the button number 1, you can see that I have a while loop embedded in a for loop statement right over here. And remember how I was saying it's the app goal to count the number of people that have to be surveyed with air quotes obviously until the app has found a random person that has the same birth weekday as a user. Well, that's exactly what the while loop is for. So when the condition is that random number is not equal to the user birthday, keep generating more and more random numbers. So that's done over here. And until that condition is true, while this condition is true, sorry, keep incrementing this number of people by 1. So it keeps doing that until, like, the random birthday is equal to the user birthday. But when that random number the random birthday is equal to the user birthday, the android exits the while loop and enters the next statement. But wait a minute, this whole thing is embedded in a for loop statement. So this while loop is done for exactly 10 more times because I equals 0 and I is less than number of trials, and here we put number of trials is 10. So let's say if I put it here, then I would go here and literally change it. While if I do it there, if I want to change the 10 to 8 or something like that, I can just do it there instead of going here and then bothering with the other buttons, like button number 2 here and so on and so forth. So yeah, so the while loop has to do 10 times in total. But wait a minute, there's another variable that has to also be done for 10 times in total. So the sum of people, some total of people, it's being instructed to store, like it's being instructed to accumulate more and more different values of number of people and add them all together. So that's what it does, and that's embedded in the for loop statement. So exactly it does this for 10 times the total. I'll explain, and it'll make sense in the next step. So as the android finish does this thing for it keeps doing it for one more time, two more times, until 10 more times, and then it exits the for loop statement, and then it enters this line of code. And this line of code is a variable. I already declared it right over here, int average number. So I just instructed to calculate now. So the average number is instructed to calculate by taking the sum total of people and dividing it by the number of trials. So it's like calculating any other averages, right? So like example, taking for your mark, for example, adding all of your top 8 marks and then dividing it by number 8. Next is the output message to the user, which is the toast message. So it tells on average you need to survey an average number of people in order to find someone that has the same birth weekday as you. So yeah, and that's basically it for button number 1. And the same thing is done for button number 2, button number 3, button number 4, button number 5, button number 6, and button number 7. So that's basically it for the code, the Java code. And now I'll be demoing the app. So this is the main menu of the app. Click survey people, and then I have an introduction displayed to me. So I was born on a Friday morning, so I would choose number 5. So look at that. You would need to survey 5 people in order to find someone that has the same birth weekday as you. So yeah. Now you might be thinking like, Supriya, what's the purpose of this lame app? Well, I just for that answer, I would just say it's for fun. Because if you kind of think about it, this app has a lot to do with probabilities. Like, what are the chances? Like, if you play with the app, you like it's so fascinating to see like what are the chances that you might get like a high number. Like, ooh, you need to survey like 31 people in average in order if you want to find someone that has the same birth week as you. Or sometimes you might find a really low number. Like, you need to survey like 3 people in total. So that you find a matching partner that has the same birth weekday as you. So it's really fascinating to see probabilities play in in here in this app. So yeah, that's why I got inspiration from my data management course last semester. So yeah, that's basically it for this walkthrough slash tutorial. Hope you enjoyed it, though there was no background music or bass drops, so I'm really sorry about that. And yeah, that's basically it. This is Supriya signing out. Peace.